Good morning, Ron. I'm so happy to have you in these calls. I met this guy maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago in New York in a massive fucking office in the center of New York City in the mid life building. And it still have not just the same office, but two floors there. Amazing company. In fact, every single year has won the award for the best PR agency, and they are. And so, Ron, as I told you before, I invite you to share your story. I think that especially in New York is such a depressing moment. Every single person is looking about the dead people and the negative news. And I believe it's time to jump in the field and to show successful story as yours. So please tell us your story.
Thank you for having me. It's always good to see your face. I wish I was sitting close to you instead of so far on Zoom. So my name is Ronn Torossian. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the founder of a PR firm, 5WPR. We're based in New York. We're about 200 people, work for B2C, B2B brands, variety of other things. And I'm with you now from the Hamptons, where I'm here with my daughters.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the idea, Ron, is that you know that every single entrepreneurs, and we are also part of YPO, so we have so many things in common. But every single entrepreneur during the life have been finding mentors, also ups and downs. So we want to understand and see how was your life, how you start, even from the school. It's small details that no one's know. It's a nice time to know it.
So I'm born in 1974 in Brooklyn. I'm 45 years old. I was born in Brooklyn, moved to the Bronx at the age of 3. Was raised in the Bronx. My parents got divorced. I was 9 or 10 years old or so. My mother raised us in the Bronx. My father I saw often is in our life. Was in New Jersey. But I'm a product of the New York City public school system. Went to elementary in the Bronx, junior high school in the Bronx. Then I got into a specialized high school called Stuyvesant High School. It's a specialized public high school in New York City. I went there. Then after that, I went to SUNY Albany, State University of New York at Albany. Growing up in New York City was great. Native New Yorker. Growing up in New York City was just a phenomenal, amazing, great experience. I wouldn't change it for anything. It was fun. It was exciting. I took the train every day at the age of 14, 15, all the way
Wow.
from the Bronx down to Manhattan. And this was in the 1980s in New York City. So you had to really learn how to manage and manipulate people back then. I remember, one of the tricks I would have was there was crazy people everywhere. And I would just have to pretend I'm crazy. So I'd start hitting myself on the head and banging myself on the head and cursing and screaming. And I was 14, 15 years old because crazy people would come on the train all the time. This is before Rudy Giuliani came into New York City and changed New York City. You see those movies about New York about, crazy things happening on the trains. I was on those trains as a kid at,
Wow.
14, 15 years old. And it was a great experience. It was great to grow up in New York, great to be a native New Yorker. Um, so after that, as I said, I went to the State University of New York at Albany, SUNY Albany. I was never a great student. I was a good student. I had no idea what I wanted to do. But I remember growing up without money and always vowing that I would become successful. All my life, I knew I wanted to become successful. How, what, where, I didn't know how, or I didn't know which way. But I knew that becoming successful was very important to me and was something that I was really going to work on.
I love it. I love it. So these you have all these inside this big audacious goal that you want, to be someone important. And how you start with start? Because when I know you, you were kind of the PR for Pamela Anderson, something like that. How you
I
jump in this
started my
field?
firm in 2003, so 17 years ago. Feels like fucking 800 years ago. Um, Started 17 years ago out of one room. I had worked for a few other PR firms before that. When I started my agency, I was doing a lot of celebrity work. I was native New Yorker, going out. I played basketball a lot, so I got to know celebrities. I used to be really
So
good at basketball.
you were playing basketball.
I played basketball every day for years and years and years.
Oh wow.
Uh, I don't anymore, but I used to play basketball a lot. So I met P. Diddy playing basketball, Puff Daddy at the time, and he was one of my first clients. And we used to do a lot of celebrity work at the time when I started my business. We were doing a ton of celebrity work, and that was the bulk of my business the first few years was consumer brands and celebrities when we started. How did I start? I just started. I just decided I wanted to work for myself. Um, yeah, it was a scary, difficult decision. I was working for a few other PR firms, but I knew that I wanted to become very successful. I was never great at following rules. And, any job I had, I was good at, but I was always getting into trouble. And I said, what do I need this for? I want to work for myself. And in retrospect, it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
And when you start your company, did you start with a partner or just alone?
No, I started alone. I didn't have any. I mean, I think I
Wow.
was probably making maybe 120, $130,000. I don't remember the specifics, but I probably had in the bank. I'm sure I didn't have $100,000 in the bank. I started started my business alone. I had a friend who gave me a conference room. I had a friend who owned a big business at the time, who gave me an office and a conference room, and that's how I started my business. Was basically out of a friend of mine's office. He had a big travel agency at the time, and that just allowed me
And
to
for
get
example, in
started.
PR, that is so important to know every single person in the news, how you approach the New York Times, all these big news. So you just close the door and
Closed the door and started calling. Closed at the time, faxes were big, so I used to send faxes to everybody. Um, I used to just pick up the phone and call people. I would go and meet people. I didn't have relationships again. I grew up not with money, self-made, and you go and you figure it out. It's
so you did literally the cold door. So without
oh yeah, I called anybody. I don't care. I used to call anybody. I still will.
wow, but you know what that and it's funny that you are in the Hampton right now, and I think 3 years ago I was there also with a good friend Art Black. Art is a good friend from New York too, and we were having drinks, and he was telling me how he started his business. He has a huge, fantastic trader company, and he started like you from scratch, nothing, no friends, nothing. And he told me it's exactly the same. I took my phone, like the Wolf of Wall Street, take the phone and make the fucking calls. And you know what? The more he was telling me, and he told me, you know what, Rick? I was making calls and I know that the first and the second reaction is going to be no, no, no. But one day, the first time, so they told me, yes, I won. And I didn't know what to answer because I was ready to, reply the no, no, no.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about the secret to success. My secret to success was sleeping like 4 hours a night. Literally, I would go to work I used to wake up at that time, I remember 13 is my lucky number. So I used to wake up every day at 5:13 in the morning. Okay. I would be in the gym like 5:30 to 6:30. I would be in the office every day by 7:15. Literally, I would work from 7 a.m. until 10:11 p.m. Saturdays, I would work something like 9 to 4. And Sundays, I remember it was like a slow day. I would go to the gym in the morning and I would go to work like 12 to 3, 12 to 4. That was my slow day. Literally, if I tell you 7 days a week, I worked 7 days a week the first 4 or 5 years of my business. It was not an option. It was just, so people talk about the secret to success was I used to work and I still do work really long hours. I think that I used to start really, really, really early and work until it was really, really, really late. That was it. It wasn't like, it was all the time just working hard.
It's absolutely true. And all the entrepreneurs that I've been talking with, they are all waking up very early in the morning. They always do some exercise because it's so important, not just for the body, for the mind. And also, as you said, it's hard work. It could be, of course, the idea, the talent, but at the end of the day, it's the time, the hours, the effort that you put in your work that is going to make the difference.
It's not politically correct today to say it, okay? But, people who don't work really long hours, I don't see them making it. I think you're going to see a big shift now. There used to be a lot of talk about work-life balance, work-life balance, work-life balance. You got to work really long hours to become successful. It's funny, you talk about exercise. This morning today in the Hamptons, I met a friend of mine actually from YPO. At 8 a.m., we went for a run this morning on the beach. Literally 8 a.m. I had a call right before this. I had a quick call before this, but at 8 a.m. this morning, I met a friend from YPO on the beach. We ran on the beach this morning, talked business. And, yeah, I think that, I think most CEOs that I know wake up early and go to bed early. I'm very rarely up past 11 o'clock. I'm usually up by, now I've gotten older, so I'm 45. I used to wake up like 5. Now I wake up like 6. But
Okay.
most CEOs I know are up and at it before 7 a.m. And I'm in bed really early too. Um, I think simply there's no substitute for hard work.
Hard work. I agree with 100%. One
There's no
question.
substitute for hard work. So yeah, I built my business 5 days a week, 8 a.m. I'm sorry, 7 a.m. until 10, 11 p.m. One day a week, 9 to 4, and one day a week, like 12 to 4. I mean, work-life balance. I don't know what that means. Now I've gotten older and I have kids, and again, Corona time is a different time, right? So
Of
while I'm
course.
on the phone with you in the Hamptons, one daughter is in the kitchen in school. The other daughter is in the office doing school. We agreed after lunch she's going to work outside and I'm going to work in the office. My older daughter, but every day is something different now. But I think that you're going to see a real return to intensely long, hard work hours. I would tell you also during this Corona time, I don't know any CEO that's not working a tremendous amount of hours. It has completely changed the rules now. The rules have completely changed over the last few months.
I agree. Ron, do you remember the first time you make money? 12 years ago, 10 years ago, when you were 10, I mean, oh.
I worked growing up in a pizzeria. I worked in a pizzeria from the age of 12 until 25, working 60, 70 hours a week. If I tell you during school, I used to cut school. I used to get paid $2 an hour to deliver pizza, okay? If I cut school and didn't go to school, they would pay me $4 an hour. So I got paid more. I used to work at the age of 15, 16, 17 in a pizzeria, easy 40 hours a week. During the summers, when school wasn't in at 17, 18, 19, 20 years old during college, if I tell you I worked 70, 80 hours a week as a kid, yeah, I used to walk around with cash. I was so happy. You talk
Amazing.
about making money, as you become quote unquote successful, I think the threshold continually moves in terms of what, success looks like. I think you shouldn't also confuse, monetary success always with success. Different people are driven by different things. Okay.
This is true.
So it's about, do I remember quote unquote making money? I had goals I set for myself. I wanted to be worth $1 million by the time I was 30. Thank God I hit that. I've had other financial goals for myself. I want to hit by the age I was 40, by the age I was 50, by the age I'll be 50, by the age I'll be 60. I hope I'll hit them. But I think goals of what you want, success of what you want changes depending on who you are and what you are. Success is many, many different things to many, many different people. I used to want to build the largest PR firm in the world, okay? I don't want to anymore. I don't want to anymore because I don't want to be on a plane every day in Africa, every day in Asia, every day in Europe. And to build the largest PR firm in the world, which I would have said I wanted when I was 30 years old, you need to be on the plane every single week. And for a bunch of years, I did it. And I don't like it. I mean, forget now, again, we're in a different era when it comes to travel. But I don't like traveling. And I don't want to be one day in Miami, the next day in Brazil, the next day in Africa, the next day in Tel Aviv. I don't want that. And you can't build the largest PR firm in the world and not do that. And so at this stage of my life, I'm really happy with offices and with my headquarters in New York. I have kids. I'm very involved in their life. And so if you're traveling every day, it changes your focus and your priority. And so, success is many different things. I can tell you I've had many things I'm proud of, many things I'm happy of. But you don't
No,
stop. I think,
no,
it's a continual moving target.
I want all the kids in the world to hear this story because at the end of the day, people saw you again in this fantastic office in Park Avenue, but they don't see the kid that was fucking, working from 12, selling fucking pizzas to make it happen. So,
I worked from the age of 12.
and
If
I
I tell
love it.
you,
And this is the inspiration that I'm looking for in people, guys. So we need to understand that there is no free lunch. If you don't work hard from the beginning, as early as you can, you're not going to make it. It's a reality. So
from the age of 12, I worked 50, 60 hours a week in a pizzeria. Anybody who grew up with me would know. Anybody who knows me, from when I'm a kid knows. I was the guy always at work in the pizzeria. Always, always.
so nice.
You know,
Congrats, brother. Congrats.
In
Great
college, I
job.
tell you, I was never great in school. I paid attention in school, but I worked, if I tell you, always 50 hours a week was like nothing. When I was like 20 years old in the pizzeria, I would want 70, 80 hours a week. And then I would go out. Back then, I didn't need to sleep. Now I still need some sleep. But back then, forget it. I'd go out, I'd hang out with my friends, go back to work. I was always working, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I remember, I think I was 19 until like 23. I used to work in a pizzeria from 12 a.m. I'm sorry, from noon until 10 p.m. I would take a break from 10 p.m. until 11 p.m. And I would go work at another pizzeria 11 p.m. till 4 a.m. There was a pizzeria right next to like a bunch of bars where people hung out. So I would work from 12 p.m. until 4 a.m. one day a week. It
Wow,
was great.
wow.
I loved it. 16-hour a day. I loved it. I didn't give a shit. It was great.
Oh
And
my
now I'll tell
God.
you something else. I'm still ready to do it now. Oh, good. It's like,
But you know what? No, no, no. This is crazy. Art Black told me exactly the same. He was telling me the story and he said, you know what, Rick, I want to take a phone right now and start calling again. So it's something that you really enjoy. And this is another
I'm
thing that,
ready. I'm ready. Let's go. I don't give a shit. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
and
People, I'm not a guy who has a 500-page business plan. I'm not a guy who knows 10 years from now what it's going to be. I don't know. I know I'm going to bust my fucking ass and nobody's going to outwork me. I know I'm going to figure it out. And yes, throughout my career, I've made mistakes. I'll make many more mistakes in life, in career, in business, in personal. But at the end of the day, if you try really hard, if you give a shit about what you do, if you're smart and you take chances, hopefully you'll win. And I'm just not going to lose. It's like I'm not going to accept the concept of
I
losing.
love
It
it.
doesn't mean you're not going to have tough times. It doesn't mean during Corona that you're going to say, "Oh yeah, the world is always beautiful." It's a tough time. It's a difficult time. Like I own a PR firm. I'm in the service business. It's hard. It's difficult. We have a lot of hotels as clients. Of course, we've been fired by them. We've been furloughed by them. We have a lot of, lifestyle business, restaurant business in New York City is shot. In other words, I hope it'll reopen soon, but who knows? And so have we been affected? Of course we've been affected. But what we've done is we've segued into security. We've segued into healthcare. We've segued into e-commerce. We've segued into technology. And those are things that you figure out as you go along.
This is another attitude of entrepreneurs and leaders. Always be positive and always believing in himself. And you know what? And as you said, we're gonna figure out how we're gonna solve it. So I love it. Okay, Ron, what's your first entrepreneurship? What's your first company that you build?
First company I built?
Yeah, or the first entrepreneurship company. I don't know, whatever. Maybe the first project. It was 5WPR or something else before.
I mean, I don't know, as growing up, there were days that I remember a few friends of mine, we sold to, one guy had like $500 or $600. We bought tickets for a Knick game versus the Chicago Bulls in like 1991 or 1992. And so we went outside of Madison Square Garden to scalp the tickets, but we were like 16 years old. It was me and two friends of mine. So we were afraid we'd get robbed. So one guy held the tickets, one guy held the money, and one guy negotiated. I would go and negotiate with people. So I'd come up to you and I'd say, okay, Ricardo, you're with, a buddy of yours. I'll sell you 2 tickets. It's $300. Okay. You'd give me $300. I'd go give one friend of mine the money on the other corner. I'd go get the ticket and I'd give you the ticket. We're 16 years old in Manhattan. So long story short, we go and we sell tickets. And then these older guys, they're like, you can't sell here. We're going to kill you. That's it. So he's like, give us all your tickets. I said, dude, you're going to fucking kill me before I'm going to give you my tickets. Not happening. So finally, like 6 of them come and they surround us.
Wow.
And they're like, look, you got to give us the ticket. I said, I'm not giving them to you until I paid this much. You got to give me the money for these tickets. They gave it. Whenever we spent, I don't know, $600, $800, we got the money. But, I said, I'll give you the ticket, but we couldn't get away. Outside of that, it was Madison Square Garden. I must have been 17, 18, 19 years old. I don't know, 16 years old with 2 friends of mine. And I guess that was my first entrepreneurship. There's a lot of other, the first business I built, thank God, was 5W. I started 5W at the age of 27, 28, I'm sorry, 28. And that's the first real business, I guess, that I built. But I've always done different things as a kid, again, delivering pizza, I've always had different, different business, but the first real business I built was 5W.
5W. Okay, the biggest success, basically. Oh no, you tell me, what is the big success in your life?
Biggest success of my life, my children.
Agree.
Biggest success of my life is being a father to two awesome kids.
I love it. And also, I saw it in your Instagram account. The first thing is father of your two kids.
Best thing of my life. Nothing else compares. Zero compares to my children.
Love it. The biggest mistake or the biggest failure in your life?
So nothing I'll admit to on camera. Okay, nothing I'm going to admit to in an interview. But I'll tell you that you should learn that you have two ears and one mouth for a reason. Sometimes you go too fast. And I'm a very aggressive guy, and I'm an ADD guy, and I'm an OCD guy. And, sometimes you make mistakes that you don't want to make. And so you should just, sometimes slow down a little bit. And I say it to myself, all the time is don't always run. Sometimes it's okay to jog. Sometimes it's okay to walk, and sometimes it's okay to sit. There's times when you also got to be quiet. That's how I'll answer that question.
What is happiness for you, Ron?
Happiness for me. It's a good question. I first of all, I think I'm very happy. Thank God life is great. I'm blessed. I had dreams as a kid, and this is the dream. I'm sitting here talking to you with my girls inside in the Hamptons with a pool 10 feet away from me. I'm happy. Life is great. I have hundreds of employees. I think happiness is, first of all, health. First of all, being surrounded by people that you want and continuing to grow and continuing to evolve. I'm very happy. Continuing to learn, continuing to grow, continuing to evolve, those type of things.
I love it. And it's so true because you're not just happy, but you make people happy. Every single time that I meet with you, you are so positive, so energetic that I get out of your office like, we're going to make it, let's go. And it's something good also from leaders that you push and give this vibe to other entrepreneurs.
I remember we sat a few months ago in my office, 3-4 months ago, and I hope to see you again soon. I remember the last time we sat was probably about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, maybe.
Exactly.
In the office in Park Avenue. I hope we'll be able to sit in the office again on Park Avenue soon.
100%. We will. Okay, Ron, one question. There is an amount of money to stop working, or there is no?
I don't think so. I think that if it is, I don't have it yet. I think that there's, again, at the age of 45, I can tell you, I think it continues to change. The problem is, when you have a number and you get it, you want more. I don't know that there's a number that I would hit that I stop working. I like to build. I like to grow. I enjoy what I do. Ask me in 5 years. I know that I need to do things in life besides just work. And so there's a lot of things I enjoy doing besides just working. And but I don't think right now there's a number that would make me stop working. But ask me, if you hand me $10 billion, I might answer it differently. Hand me 10 billion, maybe I'll answer differently. I don't know.
Well, soon, so it's gonna be soon in this case. One more point. If I have to make a guess, brother, you will never gonna stop working because you love what you're doing. You're doing fucking great, and you're having fun. So why you're gonna stop? Forget it.
I don't think so. Exactly. I don't think so.
Okay, the best advice someone give you in your life.
Believe in yourself. My mother used to always tell me, you can do anything if you believe in yourself. So I would tell you my role models, my mom, who passed away 7 years ago, Penny Waga. My mother always used to tell me, you can do anything, believe in yourself, just go do it. Go and believe in yourself, go do it. And I think if you believe in yourself and you don't give a shit what other people say, and you don't listen to all the noise and the this and the that, go and do it, you figure it out. I think that that's the best advice I could have had.
The next question is inspirational legend. So who could be this person in your life?
My mother. Inspiration, the person who inspired me the most in my life is my mother. I'm not somebody that really looks up to athletes and to celebrities and to, you don't know them. In other words, I can read about Warren Buffett and I can say, of course, he's an investing genius, but it's hard for me to think of him as a hero. I don't know him. So I think that, my role models and people I'm inspired most by are by people I've interacted with and people I've met. And I read a lot. I get inspired a lot by reading stories, and interactions. One of the biggest blessings of my business is a lot like this, and a lot how I've gotten to know you over the last 15 years, is you interact and you deal with a lot of different people. And so those are things I enjoy.
Love it. How many days do you make exercise, Ron?
5, 6 a week.
Amazing. All the leaders do a lot of exercise, not just for the body, but also for, for your mind.
It's not, it's, by the way, I mean, my body's another story. I don't always eat right, but for the mind, I need to exercise. If I don't sweat regularly, my mind is off. In other words, I don't drink much. I don't party. I need to sweat as a release. If I don't sweat as a release, it's just not healthy for me. It's just, I don't feel like I'm at my core, at my best if I'm not able to exercise, and sometimes it's biking, sometimes it's swimming, sometimes it's running. I go through different stages. I was boxing a lot last year. You go through different phases, but probably 5 or 6.
So nice. At what time do you go to sleep?
Before 11.
And wake up? Well,
6.
Very early, you told me, no?
6.
Okay.
I would say on average, I probably go to bed around 11. On average, I probably wake up around 6.
Do you have any particular routine during the weekends, or just have fun with family? Or
do I have a routine on the weekend? So it depends. I'm divorced, and so I'm single, so I'm not with my kids half the week. So when I'm with the kids on the weekend, no, it's, half the week the kids are with me, half the week they're not. But when they're with me, I have a different routine than when I'm single. It depends and it changes. But I mean, again, weekends or free time, either I'm with the kids but I still spend a lot of time with clients. I still spend a lot of time, doing things that, when you work for yourself, it's not a clear separation between life and personal. And, it's, your friends overlap your business. It's a lot of different things. It's like me and you, we do business, we're friends. I enjoy you. There's a lot of people like that in my life that it's like, it's a mixture of different things. So no, I try and work out. I try and see friends. I try and see family.
Person that you admire, well, I think that you answered this question before. One book, but that one book that you recommend, if you need to recommend just one. I wrote yours, by the way, very good. I love it. But if you have to recommend some other book, well, give the name of yours again. And also, if you need to recommend someone else's book, what do you think is the best?
So my book is called For Immediate Release. I appreciate if anybody watching this gets my book, and I'd love if you email me and we can discuss it further. But yes, I wrote a book. I don't know, one book I can tell you. A book that I'm very into professionally is The No Asshole Rule. It's a great New York Times bestseller about the no asshole rule, how to be very tough and strong in business and not be an asshole. Another book I love is It's Not the Big That Eat the Small, It's the Quick That Eat the Slow. Those are 2 great business books that I would tell you, I'm obsessed with. And I constantly read multiple times a year for many years.
I swear God, we didn't talk before about that, but let me tell you, this phrase that is not the big that eat the small, and is the fat that eat the slow. I put this phrase in my wall in the office back in the years because it's so powerful. Because in some way, as an agency, we also were not the biggest agency, but we could be faster. 100%. So we need to focus on that. It's not the big, the one, the win. It's the
making decisions. It's understanding about the ability to make decisions, understanding about the ability to move. Even if you fuck something up, it's okay. You can fix it. But if you take a fucking 7 years to think about it, it's not the way. So that's what's helped us, I think, a lot in business. And I really enjoy it. And as you get bigger, it's harder to do that.
It's true. It's true.
As you grow, it's hard to move as quickly as you want to.
I agree. And one last question, Ron. If you need to give advice to the people that is listening to these videos in this time of pandemic, what is your advice?
Advice I can give people. First, learn to listen to your gut. Your gut really matters. So learn to listen to your gut. Understand yourself. Make yourself happy. Your version of success, your version of happiness. It's about you and what matters to you, not what matters to somebody else. I think that those are the most important things I can tell you. I'm frankly, I don't know when this is going to end, but I know that I'm going to continue to succeed in some shape, form, or manner. Will my office reopen in a week, in a month, in a year? I don't know those answers. Will New York be the same? I don't know if it'll be the same in a week, a month, or a year. I know that I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep growing. We're going to keep doing great for our clients. We're going to keep doing great for our company. That's what I'm going to focus on. That's it.
Ron, I love you and I love to talk with you every single time. So really inspiring. Thank you very much, brother, and take care, okay?
Thank you, my friend. Talk soon. Be good.